Have a hard time believing that he's doing this because he actually wants to leave New England, apart from maybe just getting some media attention and maybe garnering a little bit more respect. In the long run, you're really not going to help your franchise, and you're probably still not going to win a Super Bowl with him at the helm. What the heck is going on in New England? He plays for Belichick. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back into Your Way Off Wednesday weekend. The world was busy on Wednesday, and so was I. I'm Dominique, and this is your weekly dose of everything sport, a little society, and a crap ton of foolishness for the sports novice and the sports junkie alike. Today, we are talking about Tom Brady, landing spots in 2020, does it make sense, yada, yada, yada. But first, did you subscribe? I know for a fact your kids either have an extended week of spring break or your job told you to work from home. Either way, you do not have sports in your life right now, but I'm giving them to you, okay? So it's a supply and demand thing. I've got you covered. Today we're talking about Brady. Next video is probably gonna be on Dak Prescott. So go ahead and subscribe now and get notified when I upload that one. Now, back into Brady. This video is essentially gonna be summed up into 3 parts. What the heck is going on in New England? Does this make sense for other teams to pick up Brady? And what does this mean for Brady in the long term? Now, first, getting into what the heck is going on in New England, we have to kind of take a snapshot of where Brady's at now. Brady is a 41-ish, 2-ish year old man who has had an electric career in the NFL thus far. However, you can start to see where he's on his decline. Still an electric arm, not great on the feet, and honestly, at this age, knowing that I'm getting ready to retire soon, as he said that he can probably play the game up until he's 45, I'm not putting my body at significant risk. So I want to do a lot, stay competitive because I'm a natural competitor, but I need the pieces around me to kind of move this train forward so we can stay competitive, maybe compete for another Super Bowl and give me a chance to really ride out the game I love until I don't have enough energy to put into it anymore. So that's where Brady's at. Now, the fact that he has created such a legacy for himself in New England makes it so surprising and so surreal that he's looking to see if the grass might be greener with another team, shop around for teams. Again, I personally think that there's quite a few people who are calculated in this league, so I have a hard time believing that he's doing this because he actually wants to leave New England, apart from maybe just getting some media attention and maybe garnering a little bit more respect. That's where this video leads us. What the heck is going on in New England? He plays for Belichick. That's what I think is going on. It's not, it's widely known that Brady has taken significant pay cuts in order to make sure that this New England franchise has been and continues to be Super Bowl competitive, Super Bowl ready each and every season. And that's shown because the sheer grit that this team has. I mean, Julian Edelman is coming off of another 1,000-yard plus season, and he's had an issue with his ankle, his ACL, his shoulder, his rib. I don't know what's wrong with the dude. Brady hasn't had all of the pieces, and they've still stayed competitive this entire year. Even coming off of one of their worst years, they were better than most teams in the league. That should say a lot about Brady and this team in general, right? But he plays for Belichick. Belichick is known to be one of the harder people to play for in the league. And I would say that at this given point in time, with them not winning the way that they want to, with all the pieces not falling together the way they want to, with the injuries, with the retirements, things of that nature, things might be getting a little testy, and Brady understands fully that he is underpaid and disrespected at this given point in time. Brady really runs that team, not Belichick. So, dealing with all of those pieces, and obviously a reliable Gronkowski who's out, the running back game not being as highly touted as talked about it as it has been in the past. I think Brady is looking for options to compete. As far as what's going on in New England, I really think that this is just more of a respect battle than anything. Now, moving on to what does this mean for other teams that are looking at him? They're getting Tom Brady. He's an effective leader. He knows how to fire up an offense. But I don't think it actually means much in the long run for them. Obviously, Brady is only going to sign a 3-4 year deal at best, maybe play out 1 or 2 of those years. You're really flirting with the idea of a Super Bowl, but the sheer fact that you're bringing in a new leader to take on a team that hasn't been structured around him, already tells me that your chances of going to a Super Bowl within a short window of time and building a dynasty like he's built in New England are slim to none at best, okay? And like I said, Brady isn't good on his feet, electric with the arm, but all of these people are really going to have to gear up at running back and gear up at wide receiver and tight end to really make a difference for this guy. He uses his arm more than anything, but it still doesn't make sense. Brady isn't looking to build a team, looking to build long-term team chemistry because he's not going to play that long. But I do think that for the teams who are willing to build around him, it's pretty much a waste of money. Again, you got to come to Brady with all the pieces together that are willing to work around and adapt with him. As soon as he leaves, obviously you flirted with the idea of a Super Bowl. You may or may not have won one, but then you have to restructure around a completely different quarterback, try and find the pieces that fit, figure out where the weak and loose ends are. And I feel like in the long run, you're really not going to help your franchise, and you're probably still not going to win a Super Bowl with him at the helm. How that makes sense, I'm not entirely sure, but could it make sense for some teams? It could make sense for me to one team, and that's because they have the most pieces available, and it offers Brady an opportunity to kind of build past the NFL where he's at. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But as far as teams that work for him right now, everybody keeps saying Tennessee, but I keep looking at the Chargers. He's working with a Hunter Henry. He's working with a what's that man's name? Melvin Gordon. And on the defensive end, he's working with the Joey Bosa. Young talent, still there to be developed, but they have those pieces together that are already electric without Brady. Obviously, they couldn't get much going, but Brady offers a different style of leadership that might complement them, right? Now, you can already argue that the Titans have the Derrick Henrys of the world and a pretty good defense, if I remember. If I'm wrong, I don't know. I have the stats right here for you, but all in all, I think all of the pieces on both ends, pieces that fans are going to remember, pieces that I feel like that Brady will have the best time working with and continuing to develop because they're already where they need to be, is in LA, right? Otherwise, I still don't see it. You probably won't have to pay him his full contract. He'll probably have a guaranteed about $50 million. But I really do think that you can restructure and put those pieces elsewhere, especially with these quarterbacks coming out in the draft. You kind of are looking for long-term gain. Brady is going to give you 2 to 3 years and a name. Something about it just isn't sitting right with me, but they know more than I do, so whatever. Does this make sense for Brady in the long run? LA makes the most sense, but it still doesn't make sense to me. You already run New England, okay? You run the entire Northeast. People know your name. You're the most notable figure there. Why not expand your business and the media attention to both sides of the United States, which is what I really think he's trying to do, is just garner more media attention, because this comes at the perfect time of you opening your production company. And maybe open up a production studio in the New England area, something to that regard. I personally think that maybe if you were to move to LA, it's just to be around your family. You have a growing family, growing boys, spend more time with them, and it would still give you that competitive edge right there. So LA, I personally think, is his best option. But otherwise, no, I don't think it makes sense. I think that you're going to have to put too much work into a game that you don't want to put as much work into because you're trying to focus on things outside of football at this given stage in your life, aka your family and your pursuits outside of sport. And I feel like it's going to be a disadvantage to the players who are currently playing the game. Natural competitor can teach you a lot of things, but honestly feel like Kobe did more good. Of course, we bring Kobe into this, but I feel like people like Kobe Bryant did more good educating players outside of the game than he did inside of the game, because he had more time to devote to developing those people. And I think that that's where Tom Brady is headed. He's going to end up in Boston. He's going to stay in Boston. I think he's just flirting with the aspect of respect, because I don't feel like he's getting as much respect from Belichick, who probably doesn't want to pay him because he knows he's not going to be there long, even though you already see New England bringing in the pieces of trying to get and scout for new wide receivers, et cetera, et cetera. Overall, I think it's about the respect, trying to get the competitive edge, and play and really get that fire lit back up in you. But again, you have the best advantage because New England is great at their scouting game. They really pick up the underdogs who are willing to work and who end up being better than most players who come out in the first round of the draft. And I mean, they've always had to work with the lower rounds in the draft. Team is structured around you, and they're putting the pieces together to work to make you a little bit more competitive. So the pieces are still new, and that's where you build your brand. Why not stay there? Why not build there? The Titans, that was cute. It got enough media attention for the time being, but I think Brady is smarter than that, and I think him and Belichick are going to come to an understanding here pretty soon, because it's always bigger than sport at the end of the day. It's always a respect battle. Either way, that's really all I've got for you today. I'm Dominique. I'm way off. Dak is coming up next, and I'm way out. I'll see you guys later. Wash your hands, please. All right, peace.